Hey y'all, welcome in. If you are new or just passing through to my channel, welcome. My name is Tam. I'm also known as the Enlightened Auntie. If you're returning, welcome back, squad. I'm here today to do another general collective reading. We're not sign specific here, we're also gender fluid. I may say you when I'm talking to them. I may say them when I'm talking to you. Put yourself in the story wherever you seem to fit. Remember that time and energy are fluid, so I could be talking about the recent past, the present, or the future. Take only the parts that resonate, leave everything else behind. If you would like to book a personal more aligned with your own story, all of my information is below in the description box. I invite you to join me for a session. Alright y'all, welcome in. Before I get started, I first want to announce, if you haven't seen the community post, we have hit 25,000 subscribers. I'm going to go live tomorrow. I'm going to figure out a time and I'll post it in the community, both in the community board, so that you'll know what time I'm going to go live. Also, don't forget to smash the notification bell so that you know of any new videos that I'm posting, and that'll also let you know when I'm going live. Second thing that I want to talk about is I had someone email me this morning, and I get emails and DMs all the time. I try to respond to all of them. I can't always respond to all of them, but I try to respond to the ones that I can. But someone emailed me this morning, basically gave me the government names of the people that they believe that I'm talking about in my readings, which is fine. I don't necessarily need the government names because those names don't mean anything to me. If it makes you feel better, okay, great. But then he left a phone number and was like, you know, call me. I'd like to get further clarification and I'll pay you accordingly and da-da-da-da. And I just, you know, responded like, hey, you know, that's all fine and dandy. And I appreciate, you know, your support of my work, but you need to book through my website. And then I went to the description box of my videos just so I can make sure. And the link to my website is before my actual email address. So if you get all the way down to my email address and you bypass going straight to my website, go to my website. If you want to book a reading with me and you want a reading that's more aligned with your story, your exact thing, and you want guidance, you need to book a reading with me. That's the only way that you are going to get to work with me. Otherwise, you're going to have to stick with these free readings that I post on YouTube and all over my socials, you know? And when I try to explain, like, this is the way that I conduct business, it's a boundary. I'm a business. I'm not doing this as a content creator, hobbyist. This is a business for me. I have clients, right? So if you would like to book a session with me, I invite you to do so, but I need you to do it the right way and do it through my website. Don't send me an email. Don't tell me don't request of me to call you, because I ain't never gonna call you. I'm never gonna call you, okay? Because that's just not how I conduct business. That's not how I do it. So, and if you don't like that, and if you're butthurt about it, you know, I don't know what to tell you. Respect the boundaries, okay? Respect the way that I conduct business, and I'm not going to be doing business with you if that's the way that you think that I'm going to do it. It'll never happen, okay? You'll just get your feelings hurt. All right, so now that that's all done, let's jump in and see what Spirit wants to talk about today. I hope everybody is doing good and feeling good, had a good night's sleep. I am so ecstatic that we have hit 25,000, especially when all I was asking for this year was, I was just going to be really happy if I could make it up to 10,000. And within like a month and a half, I'd hit that 10,000 peak, and I was like, oh my god, and it's just been going ever since. So I appreciate all of you who subscribe to my channel, who appreciate and support my work. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Look at those. Oh, look at this. I think I'm talking to the collective right now. This energy feels like this kind of feels like someone no longer being afraid of making a decision to walk away from relationships or connections that do not feel abundant or make you happy. And these are the kinds of connections that you would normally or have been, you know, pouring into. I heard you are the gift. I actually heard it twice. You are the gift. You are the gift. Okay. I think somebody here had to move past the fear. And I believe that this energy is kind of like, if you had to sacrifice peace, we'll say in the past. In the past, if you sacrificed your peace in order to stay in connections with certain people, we're not doing that anymore. Very, very eclipse coded. We're not doing that anymore. Yeah, and you're not worried about you're not worried about how other people perceive you. And you're not doing anything to fix it or correct it. It really, this energy really gives like, I don't care what you think. Oh, I love this. I don't care what you think. And I think at one point that might have been a big issue for you. Like there are a couple of different layers. I'm going to be completely transparent. This is the second time I've started this video. And the first time I used tarot cards, but I'm getting the same energy. So I'll just talk about what I earlier threw. So what this energy kind of looks like to me, and I haven't even finished pulling all the cards, but just what I have out here. I think at one point there may have been, not even, I want to call it a delay. I won't call it a delay. I think it just was like, I'm hearing you didn't know any better, but I don't think it's that either. I don't really think it had anything to do with that. I think a lot of this, and if this, because when I first did the spread, the more cards I pulled, it did show up as a family dynamic. But I think a lot of us were conditioned and taught that, like, these are the certain, this is how, you know, this is how families show up for each other, right? But I think what it taught you specifically was that you were kind of conditioned to show up for people regardless of how they show up or didn't show up for you. I think you may have carried this energy into a lot of different relationships. And I think over the course of your life, yeah, you know, we've cut ties with certain people, and even those cuts, it may have felt, sometimes they were like reluctant cuts, like you knew something was off and you weren't weren't really sure what it was, but you knew you couldn't keep holding on to it, because holding on to it and being loyal to certain relationships felt like you were betraying yourself. So at the point where you got to where you were feeling like you were betraying yourself, that's when you're like, okay, I just really can't do this. But I think some of it had to do with fear of how people would perceive your actions, and fear of the chatter that would ensue once you did whatever once you did whatever you were intending to do. This also is an interesting energy, because, you know, when the cards are in the reverse, I like to see what would have to happen in order for them to flip in the upright. This is an interesting energy, and that doesn't really go, I won't say it doesn't go with the story, but this is a story all of its own, because it feels kind of like if this is rooted in a family experience, this almost feels like if you had family members, we'll say, in the past, because, the collective we're recovering people pleasers. So in the past, you may have always been the one reliable family member. Somebody needs something, you got your hand up, you volunteering, you're like, hey, what you need, I got you, whatever. I got you. And the crazy part about this, the energy right here, it definitely feels like your family would have an expectation of you coming to their aid if they needed it. Because you always have, right? You always have. But now, because we've evolved and we've grown and we've done a whole lot of healing work and we've done a whole lot of shadow integration, now you're looking at some of these relationships like, well, let's see here. Before I was kind of worried about how I would be perceived if I stepped away. Now I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care how you see it. But what you do need to see is I'm going to show up for you the same way you showed up for me. And then we're going to listen to the crickets. Because I saw 11:22 on the clock. Because these folks didn't show up for you. So the audacity of them thinking that you would actually make yourself available to do anything for them is a lot of nerve. Wow. Oh, this is interesting. This was in the same place yesterday. Yeah, I'm like, I shuffled these cards really good. I'm like, the same place. These are the same cards that came up yesterday. You were guided away from this. You were guided away from this. It was almost like God was asking you to really examine your connection with these people and recognize how far out of alignment that you were. You might have also been a little bit of a control freak. Or you might have been dealing with control freaks. And then maybe some of the thought process was kind of like, okay, how much longer do I want to stay aligned with something like this? Is this kind of dynamic or relationship sustainable for the future? Am I going to be able to keep this up? Oh, I love it. So whatever this is that you were working towards and building, you were the one that was doing all of the giving, building, pouring into, right? Pouring into connections that were not in yes. You were having a really hard time walking away from these relationships. And the environment that you were in that did not make you feel very welcomed, it wasn't meant for you to be there in the first place. Because there was no happiness there. It wasn't a relationship dynamic or an environment that allowed you to or afforded you room to be happy. And that was part of the problem. It's kind of like you stuck around, you really stuck it out with whoever, like if this is your family, you really stuck it out with them. Even through all of the drama, even if folks showed up and had a whole lot of drama, you still showed up for them. You were just that fucking loyal. You were just that loyal. And I also feel like part of the lesson here too was, if this was a family dynamic, if this is your family, part of the lesson here was for you to kind of shatter the perception. This is like unlearning things from your childhood or the way that we had been brought up. Just, it's like there was like a conditioning. Like I said in the beginning, there was some certain conditioning that you had to kind of break out of that mold. And I feel like there was some divine timing at play, and I feel like at the moment or the point where you kind of just like woke up and saw like, wait, there's something really, really wrong here, you weren't going to be ready to move away from it until you were ready to move away from it. Does that make sense? Because I do get the impression that there are some people, like, there's still some people in your family that while you may be estranged from them or at a distance from them, you still got love for them, but you got love like from a distance. Like, I don't need to, like, I still have love for you in my heart, but I don't need to like talk to you. I don't need to see you. I don't even need to breathe the same air as you in the same room. I still got love for you. Stay over there. That's the best I can do. Yeah, there was some unfair, it's kind of like I heard unfair advantage. Yeah, there was an unfair advantage if you were the one doing all the giving in the relationship and the other people. And I feel like there's an energy here too if you were doing all of this giving in order to keep the peace. Almost like to prove your own worth. And the other people that were involved weren't doing shit. And so at some point you had to stop. Finally, yeah. And you had to kind of get past the fear. Like, you were afraid. There may have been some fear, but then down here you're ready. I like it. To just stop. Stop giving. Stop giving to people who don't give back to you. Oh, yeah. And part of the obstacle too is, I also feel like the divine was trying to show you that it didn't matter how much you were trying to pour into these connections or people, that no matter what you did or how you tried to like elevate it, nothing about these people or the dynamics of your relationships were going to change. They weren't going to change. And you just, like I said, you weren't ready. You weren't ready to walk away from this dynamic at the time. I mean, there was a period of time where you weren't ready, and so there was a delay. But I love when round and round comes up in the reverse, because that tells me that, you had to finally learn this lesson. Like, we're destined to repeat certain lessons until we actually learn them. And when we're repeating them, we're not always repeating them with the same people. We rotate with different, we'll rotate in and out of different relationship groups and dynamics or whatever. And the same elements will exist in other relationships. I for sure can count 3 very specific relationships that were like game-changing lessons for me, because these 3 people, I love them unconditionally the same way, and each one of them I showed up for in the exact same way. I mean, yeah, I show up. It's different from my husband and my kids. They're like in a whole other group all of their own. But with these 3 people, I showed up hell or high water. Whatever you need, I got your back. But each one of those motherfuckers, not near one of them ever did that for me. When I was in my lowest points, I actually remember calling somebody, and I just needed somebody to talk to. And this fool said, "I'm dealing with my own shit right now. I can't deal with your shit right now because I'm dealing with my own shit." And while I can appreciate that, I can. But in that very moment, like, I just needed somebody to just listen. I wasn't asking for anything. I just needed a shoulder and an ear. But for somebody to tell me I can't deal with your shit right now, I have shit I have to deal with, and I was just like, oh, okay. It was very eye-opening. Very, very eye-opening for me. Probably feeling like an asshole right now because now you're blocked. You know, but neither here nor there. Yeah, you are part of the lesson. Has something to do, does have something to do with the way that you showed up, and this has something to do with the past. Same thing, the way that you show up for people from your past. Look, they were not loyal to you. They didn't have the same level of loyalty to you that you had to them. And I feel like at some point you might have thought, like, if I keep showing up, it's funny because I see this pattern. I have seen this pattern in my own life. Like, if I felt like if I just kept showing up, it would prove to people that, like, I'm here for you or whatever. But again, part of the lesson was for you to learn that it didn't matter if you kept showing up. It didn't matter if you were trying to give in order to keep the peace. These people were not like you. Their heart was not pure like yours. They were not loyal the way that you were loyal. This is a family dynamic. This is rooted in a family experience. Now this is interesting. Maybe at one point, because this is part of the lesson, I think there was something, I got an energy about the nervous system. But it's also tied to, like, the law of attraction. So maybe for yourself, like, as you were going through this healing process, maybe you were trying to, like, manifest peace. You know, manifest a sense of, like, equilibrium while making this transition of moving away from, you know, relationships that you had been very anchored to. This is crazy. Yes. So the divine was trying to get you to look at the situation and look at these relationships from a neutral perspective so that you could really see, removing the emotional component. That's funny because that came out in the last reading too. Removing the emotional component. Regardless if you had love for certain people, you had to remove the emotional component and really look at the relationship dynamics with a very clear mind. Logically. Damn. Okay, so yeah. And I feel like once you were able to see it from a clearer lens, once you were able to kind of see this, you know, the way that you show up, the way that you always show up. Once you were able to kind of see the way that you show up, it made making certain decisions a little bit easier. Especially if the question was, do I sacrifice my peace to be connected to these people who don't actually fuck with me like that? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then part of the lesson here talks about being honest with yourself. Remember, we're talking about the way that we were conditioned growing up and how we see relationships carried out, which makes us show up in certain ways and certain capacities. And it feels like this down here is like, okay, at what point are you going to be ready to be honest with yourself after looking at the track record of how these other people always seem to treat you? And if you don't learn it this one time, I'm going to send in 4 or 5 other people to teach you the same shit. You're going to go through this a few more times because you needed to learn it. You needed to learn this aspect. All right, let's pull these back and go into tarot. All right, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. use the triple deck. Let's use the triple deck. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos. Sometimes when I post them a little bit earlier in the day, I don't do a live premiere. I don't know why. I seem to do the live premieres when I cook dinner because it just, I don't know. That time just seems more convenient. But I try to post a little bit earlier in the day so that I can get some folks, so some of my folks on the other side of the world can get to the videos before they go to bed. Majors. So Saturday, my daughter and I went to go see Hamilton. And I went in, I didn't know a whole lot about it. I mean, yeah, I heard about it, but I didn't know a whole lot about it. Because I wasn't really that interested, to be honest. But it was a really good movie. And I do think I want to go see it again. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen Hamilton, and if you don't mind a good musical, I would go see it. It was really good. And they announced this. They announced the date for the second installment of Wicked. I'm excited about that one too because I really enjoyed Wicked. All right, let's get into it. We'll take one more. We'll do 6. This is interesting. This kind of feels like an energy of it feels kind of like picking and choosing who you're gonna deal with, the things that you're gonna take action towards. I think you're also, this also kind of feels like giving up or I'm trying to figure out what the best way to communicate this. Because this feels like an energy of making a decision instead of trying to kind of like, it's like instead of trying to control an outcome or how you're interacting with other people, it's like you're making a strategic, you're doing this, I feel like you're doing this in a more methodical way. It's funny because none of these cards actually say that, but that's the energy that I'm pulling off of this. It's kind of like on one hand, you're recognizing certain relationships where it's funny because in my mind's eye, I see somebody holding up like a platter, for lack of a better word. That's what it looks like a platter. But they're holding, the platter has stuff on it, and they're holding it above their head, but this person is like trying to like balance it. Like they're trying to balance it. And this is, for me, it's kind of giving me an energy of like, kind of deciding, okay, I don't want to, instead of me doing this all the time and I'm trying to keep all of the shit balanced, I'm just going to put the shit down. I'm just going to put it down. Oh, now I'm seeing like a circus clown juggling. I don't know what one has to do with the other, but it's like a balancing thing. It's like you're juggling all of these balls, trying to keep everything, like you're trying, in the juggling and in this balancing thing, it's almost like you're trying to keep things from falling. In the past, you may have done that. Now, you're not doing that anymore. Now you're not as committed to trying to keep things from falling on the ground. Does that make any sense? Like, I hope this is making sense. Because I think at one point you had, like, it may have stressed you out. You may have did a lot of overthinking. Like, here I am, I'm trying to balance all this stuff. But you're not as committed to the stuff that you're balancing or the things that you're trying to prevent from dropping on the floor. You're not as committed to them anymore. Okay. Somebody commented that they would really like to see the cards, and the reason why I don't show my cards is because I don't like people reading over my shoulder. That's almost like the energy of, you know, like, I didn't learn how to type traditionally. I mean, I know how to type, and I think I type like 85 words a minute, maybe a little bit more. But I'm self-taught, and I never liked people standing over my shoulder while I was typing, because the last thing I wanted to hear was, your fingers aren't in the right place. It doesn't matter. I'm still accomplishing the goal, right? Even if I'm not doing it in the traditional sense, I'm still getting the job done. I don't like people reading over my shoulder. The other thing is that I'm channeling. Yes, I've been reading tarot since 2003, so I know what I'm doing. But I'm also channeling a lot of this energy, and I'm not just straight reading cards. I'm picking up the energy signature. So even if you were to look at the cards, what I'm telling you versus what I'm feeling off of the cards versus what you're seeing if you're looking at the cards are not all going to be the same thing. So the messages that I'm giving you are the messages that I'm meant to give you from my lens and from what I'm channeling. I hope that makes sense to you. Look at that. Like I said, you have made a decision here to only pour into people. I love this. You are only pouring into reciprocal relationships. You only want to deal with people who are, you know, showing up for you in the same way that you show up for them. And you're seeing it very, very clearly. I think maybe in the past you kind of had leaned into, yes, that's what it was. You kind of had leaned into some of these relationships, and this is not to say that you were like on some codependent, needy shit, but it does kind of come across that way, or at least this is an energy of, yeah, because it's like here, it's like, it's, yes, okay, thank you, Spirit. I'm like, yes, because here's the truth. Like, you recognizing that here you are trying to, like, you know, keep all the balls in the air. But I think it's like the people that were in these connections with you, I feel like they just had an expectation of you showing up. Again, it's that conditioning. Conditioning. Okay. I heard keep going. Okay. So it feels like there's also an energy here of somebody who wanted to, this could be very specific. I have a distorted masculine and a distorted feminine energy out here, so it could be either or, okay? But there's an energy out here that feels like someone who was trying to, and this is part of the conditioning, while I'm not necessarily getting withholding, I'm also not really getting a whole lot of energy of reciprocity. So it almost feels like your role in certain relationship dynamics was to keep you in this energy of giving, while the people that you were giving to were really the only benefactors in the relationship. Like, these people liked, it's weird, it's like they like being in the connection with you because they didn't actually have to put in any effort to be in the relationship, because you carried the relationship. You carried the relationship. Thank you, Spirit. You were carrying these relationships, but in your effort of carrying these relationships with people who are not very committed, they weren't as committed to you as you were to them, what it was essentially doing was it was blocking your progress or slowing down eventual success. You know what I mean? Because again, you were Johnny on the spot. If somebody had a need, you showed up and you were there. But because you were so focused on like helping other people, you weren't pouring that energy back into yourself to help yourself. Okay. Because I can see all of this energy that you've been pouring out. It wasn't making you happy. It wasn't making you very happy. And I think you just had to kind of get out of your own way. Yeah, look at that. You were confused. There could have been a lot of confusion around why there been such delay in your life. And again, the part of the delays in your life were centered around these connections. Yes, yes. Your delays were centered around your commitments to these other people. That's crazy. Look at that. The clarity. The amount of clarity out here is wild. Just this row alone. This is like you being able to clearly see. You're no longer confused. Like, here's the confusion over here. Why is my life like this? Your life was like that because you were so consumed with showing up for people who didn't give a shit about you. We just keep it a buck. They didn't give a shit about you. They didn't have the same sense of loyalty that you had to them. They like reaping the rewards of being connected to you, though, because they knew if they ever had a need, all they had to do was call on the collective and you just show up. Now, you see this shit with crystal clear clarity. These motherfuckers never actually put in anything. Not only were they disloyal and lazy in the relationship, they never put in no effort. But again, your alliance or connection to them is really what it slowed you down a lot. A lot. These people didn't put in no effort. No effort. And now you see, like I said, just this row right here, you are only focused on relationships that are reciprocal in nature. If they show you love, you show them love back. That's all you're looking at now. Okay. Now, I wasn't gonna mention this, but I see something else. There's an energy out here of somebody who is looking back at the past. They're kind of playing, it's almost like they're playing it over and over in their mind, because this is where it's centered around this Two of Cups. Somebody is recalling the way that they may have showed up for you and their lack of effort and energy. Like, they may have treated you like an option. This is loaded. They may have treated you like an option, or there may have been a lot of confusion around this relationship or whatever, or why they didn't actually show up for you the way that, it's like, if you love me, then you'd actually show up for me, right? I don't know what this relationship is, okay? Not this one I'm talking about. But this one row feels like somebody who is like really taking a healthy look at kind of like how they showed up as it relates to you, and they're recognizing now, they're seeing right now that they didn't actually do much of anything. They didn't offer anything, they didn't provide anything, and really, I also feel like this is part of an honesty thing for them as well, like being honest with themselves. They also, again, I said you've learned this lesson through various people, because this right here, this one section feels like there is somebody here who's having this revelation that this person is a masculine, he may have juggled you. I do get a feeling that this individual had love for you. I see that here. It's kind of like, if they're being completely honest with themselves, there was love there but the reason why it was unsuccessful was because this motherfucker was in player energy. Like I said, he was juggling you. He was in player energy. He had a bunch of options, and even though he may have had love for you, he didn't actually show up. He didn't actually give. He didn't do any of the bricklaying for the foundation. And so now he's just kind of sitting in his feelings, thinking about how he threw this relationship away. Like I said here in the beginning, I was like, whoever these people are, they enjoyed the benefits of having you around without them having to do a whole lot of anything, because they knew you would do it. That was part of the lesson for you. Yeah, there's somebody here who may want to communicate. They may want to communicate. They may want to come to you, but they may not have the means to come towards you. Yeah, they may not have the means to come towards you. Ooh. I think, did I say it in the reading yesterday? I can't remember. Or a couple of days ago, where I was like, this person wants to come back, but they're not sure if there's anything to come back to. That's out here. Because this person can also see, it's like whoever this person is, I'm talking there, because there's a few people out here, so I'm going to kind of go section by section. But I have somebody out here, I have an energy out here who I feel like this gentleman is taking stock of like his life and like how he shows up and how he has shown up in his life. And I kind of feel like right now he's kind of this thing with the past, these past memories. It's like there's a realization here for him, especially if this is somebody who broke your heart. If this is somebody who broke your heart, I think it's like I want to say it's karma. It's like somebody who's like they're like really thinking about the way that they've conducted themselves, their relationships, the way they've operated or whatever. They can see in their life where they've been dishonest, and they, had been a player, been out there spreading it wide and thin, and love bombing and all that other shit, right? Because I see that here too. You definitely could have had somebody in your life who was just like, who had in the past like love bombed the hell out of you, and had your brain all fucked up or whatever. But if this person broke your heart, they're looking at that right now. And they're also recognizing too that with the distance that there is between you, because I can tell there is some distance between you, that you're not hurt anymore. You're not feeling the pain or the sting of what it felt like, when it was, fresh in your mind. But you don't, you're not in that energy. You're not in that energy. But the other thing is, you're not only not in that energy, you no longer have the same feelings for them that you once had. Like the love that you may have carried, like if you had carried a torch for this person, you put that bitch out. You don't carry that torch no more, Yeah. Yeah. And what they're seeing is they see that you're stable. Let's see. It's crazy because I think this person, and I don't know if they actually saw you clearly when they had you. I also get an energy of somebody out here who just really likes the attention of other people. Like a lot. They like the attention of other people. They like the engagement of dealing with other people. They love that shit. Chasing around after all these lying, like giving you crumbs, chasing around after all these other people, talking, text, and online, and da-da-da-da, like all these things. This person could even have traveled for work. They could have traveled for work. But now they're kind of looking, they can see you. I don't know how they see you. It could be on social media or whatever. Somebody could be either researching you or they see you on socials or whatever. They're watching you though. They are watching you. And what they see is you're stable as hell. You're stable. You're good. You're in a good space. Yeah, look at all this weird ass shit. Look at that. I actually hadn't thought about this card coming out, but the fact that it came out is funny. So, whatever this was, whatever this relationship was, because now I think the first spread when I was doing the oracles, it felt more like family. I don't really know what this relationship dynamic is. I don't have counterparts out here. That's real interesting. I got a lot of masculine energy out here. I don't have not a single feminine card. I don't have no feminine cards. I have one. All the cards I got out here are masculine. The funny thing about this, whatever this relationship was, this row is very prominent and loud. Whatever this relationship was, your relationship with this person, I think these are two different people. I have a fire sign and a water sign. Doesn't have to be. Specifically, doesn't have to be. But this energy of this person who was spreading it wide and thin, this person that's watching you right now, whoever this person is, this is somebody that I said they didn't actually put in any, yes, baby, they didn't actually put in any real effort into the relationship. I feel like you, collective, I feel like you were the one who, you were like kind of building. It's crazy because I want to say you were building this man up. You were building this man up. By yourself. It's interesting. So he was spreading it wide and thin because, again, he liked attention. He liked attention. And you know what's interesting? The way that this gentleman showed up. So he showed up for you in a really weird, like, love bombing kind of way. Said all the nice things, whatever, but never actually took the action that aligned with the words. And then the people that he was dealing with, okay, then the people that he was dealing with, it's like he liked, okay, because I said something like this person may have worked, like they may have traveled for work. Okay, now this is not for everybody, and this is very, very specific, because the way I heard it was like somebody having a different person in every port. So I don't know what kind of work this person does, but if they traveled frequently, they may have had like a different person in different locations, right? But this energy feels like this man was breaking hearts all over the country, all over the world, or whatever. He liked the newness. He liked the new, like that honeymoon phase, the excitement of all the lovey-dovey, whatever, right? But he never really had follow through. This man was like, Spirit says, say it the way you heard it. Okay. This man was like dicking folks down literally at every port, and then leaving just a string of broken-hearted women all over the place. So you ain't the only one, okay? And now this person is recognizing the nightmare that they've made of their own life. Yes, they see it. They see it now, that the lack of investment in this relationship connected to their past as well. Now they see that they're like, here you, and there was, and the thing about it is, I do want to say this, and I don't want to hear y'all arguing me down. There was love here. There was love. There was genuine love here. And that love may not exist no more. It may not exist anymore. This person is definitely watching you. And I do kind of feel like at some point they may have even waited for you to communicate. They thought maybe that you would communicate. They may not have expected you to block them. Because up here, I'm like coming from the bottom right all the way up and down. They may have been waiting for you to contact them, and they're unhappy the fact that your energy is screaming out of sight, out of mind, and they're seeing it. Like you ain't tripping off of this person. But they're also seeing here how little effort that they put, how much, like they really didn't give anything to this relationship, and they just lied, they were just a liar. But what they're seeing, yes. I feel like they're kind of kicking themselves because they see the value of what you were trying to do. You may have been trying to build this person up. I said in a few readings back, like maybe 6 or 7 readings ago, where I said, or hell, even further back than that, where I said, in some instances, you may have, especially if you're intuitive, you may have been interacting with like their inner child when you were kind of dealing with them. you may have been dealing with their inner child. So you may have also, because from this card I also can kind of see you were building this person's confidence up. And the crazy part about it is, while you were building up their confidence, you gave, this is crazy. Again, take it as it resonates, because this feels like you were building somebody up because, you know, you were looking and operating and dealing with their inner child. You were dealing with the wounded kid on the inside that you saw, right? And you're building them up, building them up. But what you inadvertently did was you built them up in such a way where they kind of got ahead of themselves and then ran out there and was like, I'm the man. I got this one over here building me. I'm the man. This motherfucker is finding out that he ain't the man that he thought he was. Because he's realizing it now that he made a whole bunch of really bad decisions. He is seeing the truth now. Yep. He fucked all this up. The relationship is over. All that you building up, like, they want to come towards you because they don't like being on the outside. They don't like feeling abandoned. And I feel like this person wants to come 10 of cups at the bottom of the deck. Nope. They're realizing now that in the past they were playing a game of, they just were being selfish, and they felt like if they breadcrumbed you that they would just keep you, you know, dangling on or whatever. And they had you in this weird ass one-sided competition that you weren't even aware that you were in. Third party energy, reap what you sow. Yeah. That, reap what you sow. So whatever they thought they were doing, it didn't actually get them the result that they were anticipating. Death. So really all it did was it just ended the relationship. The world. Death. I mean, could we be any clearer? The finality of the situation. Could we be any clearer? Yeah, you may have made a decision. You saw for what it was and just simply removed yourself from the chat. You know what I mean? It's like being in a group chat and you're like, you know what? I really don't want to be I don't want to be part of this anymore. Whoever this person was a coward. I feel like this person was afraid of what the idea of commitment would mean to them. I'm conflicted with this energy, because this could be more about the fact that they were keeping secrets versus versus knowing intuitively or ignoring their intuition. It's almost like, I want to say, I do feel like Spirit was trying to nudge this person, like, hey, don't do that, because if you do this, this is going to happen. And they may have just simply ignored, you know, ignored the nudges. Karma. Womp womp. So somebody here could be going through an ego death. Dark night of the soul. I said somebody was having this revelation about the way that they live their lives and the way, yeah, they made some really bad choices. They chose the wrong things to align themselves with. And now they're looking at what they made of their lives based on the choices. and how sit down here, what they're seeing clear. Remember I said they can see clearly. You're very stable. You're in a very stable environment, stable energy. And this person is realizing that the decisions that they've made have made them feel like they don't feel as abundant or stable as you do. Or as you appear to be. You know what I mean? And this person could literally be experiencing karma for whatever they've done or whatever they had been doing. It kind of feels like somebody wanting to, it's like feeling like hoping for some type of change. But I feel like whatever's happening right now, this is a destined and fated event. And so the Wheel of Fortune in the upright to the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So if this person, and it's underneath, so I have death, karma, and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So, and karma in this deck is judgment. So this literally feels like somebody who is receiving judgment for some of their misdeeds in the past. And so if at one point you were at the bottom of the wheel, now you are at the top of the wheel, and they are at the bottom of the wheel. They're at the bottom of the wheel based on the decisions that they made. Yep. The Tower. Judgment. I just heard, I didn't know, I didn't know. You also could be in the public eye. You could have a tarot like this. I don't know, all of a sudden this little section right here gave me tarot channel. You could be a tarot reader or have spiritual content. The Devil. Yeah, they made this decision. They chose whatever they chose. They chose somebody that I said was predominantly masculine, and still, even still, excuse me, with all the cards that I pulled, predominantly masculine energy on the board. This masculine chose somebody who was codependent. He chose somebody who he thought would look good. It's like choosing somebody who they thought would look good on paper. Collective, if this is you over here, like, this is giving me woo-woo girl. Like, you could be very spiritual. You do something that's a little unconventional or whatever. This person may have judged you for that. They may have judged you for that. It's kind of funny because on this side, it gives me an energy of somebody like fear-mongering, like accusing you of being a witch and all this and that. Oh, okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so if they got some weird shit going on in their lives, I'm just trying to figure out how these are all connected. If this person has some weird shit going on in their lives, they may think that you have cursed them or something. This is somebody who don't think fat meat is greasy. So while he does recognize that he may be getting his ass kicked in the ethers, there's an energy out here that, I don't know, he may believe that you have something to do with it. Listen, he chose wrong. He chose wrong. That's crazy that the Strength card came out here twice side by side. He chose wrong. This person wore a mask. Mask here, mask here. This person wore a mask. They never really showed you who they were. And it was their ego. There's somebody here is going, I want to say this whole, all up here looks like Dark Night of the Soul. Somebody who is, they're being made to sit down alone to really examine their life and the decisions that they've made and why they made certain decisions. Now, I know for some of y'all ain't gonna want to hear this part, because I do read the comments, and you know I engage with all of y'all. But the masculine energy that I see on this board, they're all in the upright. The kings that I have out here are in the upright, and now he's out down here as the emperor. You know, under normal circumstances, I would be like, we're not entertaining anything from the past. I didn't say to entertain anything from the past. I'm just telling you what this person is going through. I still don't recommend dealing with it, only because they're still several paces behind you if that was something that you were, you know, entertaining. Like my messaging is always going to be the same. The past does not have anything new to say until it does. If you want to hear them out, I mean, I don't actually see that there's connection or contact being made. I do see the desire for contact. But I got somebody out here who's really going through it right now. And I feel like this person, oh my God. Wow. I do see the energy of somebody. Let me grab the last two cards. Oh my God. Ah! Oh my God. Yes, this is crazy. Okay, so this, okay, I'm going to tell you what all this looks like. This looks like the energy of somebody who they're being sat down. Karma's whooping their ass right now. They're being sat down. And I feel like they're kind of waking up to how the decisions that they've made in their life got them to where they are, because I see it up here like they chose. Remember how I talk about, like, you know, when you choose something that you want, that's leaning into like the Lover's energy. But when you choose something because of other people or somebody else, it's like almost like they made a choice. Say they chose this other person over you, hypothetically. They choose someone else over you, but they choose this other person because they think the other person is more socially acceptable. Because I can see over here, you're a spiritual girly, okay? Whoever I'm talking to. And so that kind of goes against what their mode of social conformity. This is somebody who like has a thing about how they appear to, out into the world, how they show up. They're very concerned about their image. But this feels like they're recognizing how they made these decisions in the past, and they chose something that was more, for superficial reasons and not what they really wanted. Now down here, it feels like, again, because I got the Lovers out here 3 times. And it's crazy because just down here, I have the Lovers and the Devil. I have the Lovers twice with the Devil, and the Strength and Temperance and the Fool. So it almost feels very much like somebody who's like recognizing the patterns of what, like, each time that they've done this. Because like I said, this person they got bitches all over the place, right? So this person is kind of recognizing like the decisions that they made kind of put them in the position that they're in right now. I do feel like they want to come in. I'm not saying this person wants to come in for a second chance, but I feel like somebody kind of wants to make something right, or at least restore balance between the two of you. But they're afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid that there ain't nothing left for them to come back. I said the other day, they're afraid that they don't have anything left to come back to. That's quite possible. Hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. Dogs, getting together with friends. Love. Barrel, you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. So maybe they're recognizing that they had real love when they were dealing with you, but because of the decisions that they made, they didn't actually have that, or they don't actually have that in their life. Elephant, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. Owl, good advice from a wise person. Boat, money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall. Three more cards. Crib, birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. And this person may have produced a child, like in some of his escapades, a child may have been produced. And they may excuse me, they may be turning to friends for advice or whatever. And sun, happiness and well-being. Bread, period of prosperity and abundance. Alright, let's grab some index cards. I'm going to take this whole stack. Someone's acting like a victim. We have meddling family members. We have a stepbrother. Somebody is verbally, mentally, and emotionally abusive. Then we have an older man. The month of June may be of significance. Could be dealing with a Gemini or a Cancer. Somebody is heartbroken. Up to 4 other people may be involved. Someone regrets getting involved. Someone was trying to ruin you. Perhaps this older man, because the older man is above trying to ruin you. But the older man is also next to regrets getting involved. So take it how it resonates. Somebody may have clarity around a situation. Maybe getting music downloads. Pay attention to the lyrics of the music that you're listening to. Your confidence is soaring. You're no longer afraid. We have soul contract out here. Somebody uses money, power, and sex for influence. Spirit will humble them. Somebody has used manipulation tactics. You're no longer afraid. It's out here again, no longer afraid. One says confidence soaring, no longer afraid. And I have another card that says no longer afraid. So you're not afraid. We love it. Or they're no longer afraid. Maybe they're no longer afraid to approach you. Alright, someone wants to keep you distracted. Someone's jealous of your light. Foster care could be significant, or someone's a foster child. We have a baby daddy out here. Somebody's ulterior motives are being revealed. Truth is being exposed. A loss of all stability, home, job, or resources. Someone cannot be trusted. Uh-oh. All is not what it seems. Somebody purposely misled you to keep you confused. Someone is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and someone is experiencing anxiety. The bottom of the deck, someone's releasing mental burdens for good. Alright. Let's get some truth cards. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you know when I am going to post again. And then I'm going to look at the time to see what time I'm going to go live. But I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. Thursday. Jupiter day. Alright. New lifestyle. Commitment coming. Synchronicity of 122. Assert yourself. Goodbye. Temporary setback. Set boundaries. Choose you first. Energy block. 141 may be a significant synchronicity. Soulmate connection. Temptation. Someone's checking your social media. Time apart. 155 may be significant. It's not personal. Family issues. Fear and worry. Not hearing you. Time to forgive. 1919. Reflect. Someone desires reconnection, but they may be imbalanced. 616 may be significant, or 166. Lack of passion. Weighing options. Fire ignited. And positive energy. Bottom of the deck is shift your focus. Okay. So I have 188 or 881. 144 or 141. 313. 155. Okay, let's look at the dates. So I have January the 3rd, January the 4th and 5th, January the 6th, January the 9th, January the 16th, January the 14th, and January the 22nd. I have February the 4th, February the 6th, February the 16th, February 18th, and February 19th. I have March 1st, March 6th, March 10th, March 13th, March 19th, March 22nd, 24th, and 25th. I have no dates in April. Oh yeah, I do have April. I'm sorry, my bad. I have April 1st, April 2nd, April 5th and 6th, April the 14th, the 16th, the 19th, and the 18th. May 1st, May 4th, May 6th, May 9th, May 15th, May 16th, May 19th, June 1st, June 3rd, June 4th, June 5th. Oh, June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Oh, June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. June the 19th is out here twice. June 16th, June 15th. Oh, actually, June 19th is out here 3 times. So that may be very significant. June 19th. June 14th. Did I say that already? June. No dates in July. I have August the 9th, August the 16th, and August the 18th. September the 1st, September the 5th, September the 8th, September 16th, September the 18th. September, October the 3rd, October the 13th, 15th, 16th, and 24th. No dates in November. And no dates in December. Alright, and then let's do the dice. Then we're going to wrap. Ooh. So we have North Node. Then in the Moon. What sign is it? Oh, this is Neptune. I'm like, I know Neptune, but not so much the glyph. Okay, so Neptune, the Moon, and the North Node. I have the 6th house, which is like your daily routines, your health. 3rd house, your intellect, communication style. 1st house of self, have Aries, Cancer, and Libra. So Moon, North Node, Neptune, 1st house, 3rd house, 6th house. Aries, Cancer, Libra. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there. If any parts of this reading resonate for you, gave you clarity or confirmation of your own story, give the video a thumbs up so we can circulate into the algorithm and get in front of the eyes that need to see us the most. If you'd like to book a personal more aligned with your own story, all of my information is below in the description box. I invite you to join me for a session. If you want a reading, do not email me. Just go straight to my website and book a reading. If you want to know the services and the times and all that stuff, you got to go to my website. Okay? Don't send me an email asking me about that, because that's not going to help you. I'm just going to refer you back to my website. All right? I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the likes, shares, subscribes. Super thanks. The tips and donations, all the new subscribers, the new clients. I've been getting a lot of new clients as well. I appreciate every single one of you who support my work. Thank you guys for supporting me. Continue to support each other in the comments, because yes, I know these stories sound very crazy, but it is our lived experience. And it goes without saying, you cannot share these stories with everybody, because folks will be looking at you like you crazy. Okay? We keep the crazy in-house amongst us. All right? I love you guys. And until next time, I will see you next video. Take care.